Alright guys, so here's what we have going on today. We're still waiting on the icon for the E60 to come in. E60 is in the shop right now. A few things going on. So today, to start off with, we're going to do another Vanos video, a Vanos rebuild. We had the rebuild kit here for the Vanos. The valve cover only has like 4 bolts in it. That'll be a real nice, easy video. You guys get to see very clearly how to take this off, where all the bolts are. I did one a while back. It's been probably more than a year ago. And everybody keeps asking me if I have a Vanos video out. So, we'll do another one. We'll do it on the engine stand this time. Now, the headers came in today. Excuse me. Headers came in today. I'll throw it up here for right now. They don't look too bad. I mean, you know, they're $105. So you gotta kind of, you know, you have to figure that in. The next step up was like $1,200, so that we weren't gonna do that on here. They are, looks to be TIG welded. They don't look bad. I knew before we even started we're gonna have to do some modifications to them, and that's not a big deal. You notice there's only one here. That's because the other one is at the machine shop, and when they weld them together, the flange on the end, the 2-bolt flange, is clocked wrong. So, you know, just kind of the way that goes. Anywho, I think what we're gonna do here, they're actually gonna make me an adapter for the end of this. So they're gonna make me a little plate, and that plate is gonna be a little bigger. So basically what I could do is use 2 gaskets with a plate that's bigger, so I could just drill the holes wherever I need in the adapter plate. They're making an adapter plate. Alright, so that should be done this evening. That's not a big deal. I think now I probably should have made 2 adapter plates, but we'll see how it pans out. This one seems like it fits fine. Now, the next thing, on the flange that bolts to the engine. I know for many years of doing headers, having the flange all together is not what you want, because like right now we tested this thing, everything is good, right? Everything's nice and flat, but in my personal opinion, it's not going to be like that for long. Usually what you do on V8 headers, you'll cut them down in between there. That'll, especially with these, they have 4 bolts in each one. That'll give us some flex. That'll give us some bends and flex if it needs it. And I think that'll be something we should do. We'll either use the Sawzall with our heavy metal blade, or the grinder with a cutoff wheel, and we'll do that to both headers. That'll ensure we're not going to leak up there. Now, everything does fit. We might go and cut these too, just to make sure. Everything does fit correctly as far as these go, as far as the collectors go, as far as all that stuff goes. Now, enough of that nonsense. Let's go ahead and start on this. Okay, so we'll give you a quick rundown. Hope it has enough light in here. It should be. Camera's pretty okay in low light. So, we're going to pull the valve cover off. We just have a few bolts in it. On the front here, here's all the bolts you have. You're going to need a 10mm and a 13mm. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to start off, well, let's start off the right way. You're going to need a 19mm wrench, or a 17, depends on what year you're doing. You're going to take this banjo fitting off right here first. That's going to have 2 crush washers in it. We'll take that off. Usually I just put the washers back on the bolt and thread it back in a little bit so we don't lose it. In our case, while we're doing this, we're going to go and pull the thermostat off because we're going to change it. We have basically a bolt right here, a 10, there, and then up here, that's, I believe that's a 11, a 13, and then behind that 11 that holds a bracket on, there is another 13 back there. So basically what we're going to do right now is take a wrench, break this off. I'm going to have to adjust our drip pan over because it's going to drip. Okay, so first things first, you always want to do this before you break anything else loose, because if you try to take all the bolts out, then try to break that loose, it's going to be doing that nonsense. Pull this out here. We did move the paint over a little bit. Alright, so nothing's dripping out. Let me show you here. There's 2 locking washers on here. A lot of guys say you got to replace those every time. That's just not true. You can replace them if you want. It's up to you. Usually I put them back on the bolt. One goes on each side of that banjo. And we're just going to go ahead and thread this back in there just a few turns. About like that. Get a rag here. So there's that. Let's take this off of there. That was for the harness we had on it. We're going to take our tin. They're stuck in there. That's alright. Alright, put those out of our way. We're going to lift this bad boy off. Try to keep the gasket intact. Don't remember how this one was. Stuck to the lid. Alright. Let's just put him over here on top of that. Keep him out of harm's way. You can see how clean this engine is if you did not see the other video of it. And also, before we pull that off, let's see, I don't remember what size this was. This was a number 8 Allen key. So we have attachment for a little impact, which usually is not strong enough to do these. And that is also the case today. So we'll get something that is strong enough to do those. Oh my god. Well, fortunately, we forgot to put the tray back. Hold on. Okay, so we took those out, cleaned up a little mess we made. Took those 2 plugs out. We're going to take a pair of needle nose pliers next, and we're going to pull out these plastic plugs. And they look like this. You just grab them by the middle part, you pull it out like that. It has a little O-ring in there, and the new kit should come with a new O-ring for these. Put that out of the way. We'll go and pull this one out too. Ah. You nasty. Well, I need something different for this, but I need to get the floor coated, I guess. Nasty. So next up, we're going to take, there's little Torx bolts in there. Come on, my damn hands off. This turned into a train wreck. I don't remember what size they were. Let's see here. It's going to be a T30. Let's take your T30. Let's get an extension. Let's get a ratchet. We're going to set our T30 up like this, and these are reverse threads. So, righty loose and lefty tighty, right? Make sure everything's in there correctly. A lot of guys will mess this up and not realize these are reverse threads, or use the wrong bit, and they'll strip those out. So you see what I did there is broke it loose with the ratchet. Use a little impact to pull it out. We'll put those off the side. Try to keep any extra ones I have, I keep them on hand. A lot of times you get them to be all jacked up and you can barely get them out. These have never been taken out the way they look. So that released the Vanos unit from the camshafts. And now the Vanos unit is free. Let's go ahead and pull out the rest of those bolts here. 13 is off, so we'll put that on standby. Get an 11. 11's out. Might have to. There we go. Pull that out. Try to keep all this stuff in a separate container here. And now we have another 13. What was the deal here? Right here. So 11. Back on the 13. Pull that out. That's done. Let's go ahead and bang out all these pins. Don't forget the one right next to the sensor. Get out of there. Alright, so double check before we push off everything's out. Now, if we do it right, we won't make a big freaking mess. We're just going to wiggle it off there. Usually come off real easy. Somebody has had this one off. And we're just going to go right in the pan. And we're going to dump a bunch of this oil out of here. Everything we can. We're going to put it up on our tray. Oh! Had a little drip. Holy! Terrible. Hit that little simple green. Okay. So now we're going to jump down to the rebuild. Alright, let me move this. I think that's in the way. We'll go ahead before we do anything else. She does maybe before inspect the rebuild kit, make sure everything is there that we need. What the hell is this nonsense? Got some sealer in there for you, which they recommend you put sealer. It should have a metal gasket on it. We have that. Yeah, so the metal gasket's stuck on the head. They recommend you put a little bit of sealer in each corner when you put it back on. That's not that big a deal. So they give you all new bolts for those, which I usually don't use them because these are the OEM ones. They're always good. We have our seals. So we have all four of the large seals, all four of the small seals, and the two little O-rings that go on the little caps I just showed you on these guys right here. Hopefully you can see that. Let's triple check. Triple check. Here you guys can see it. So get a razor knife. Definitely not going to use that because I don't know what that is. We use a little bit of the right stuff, but we need to use that. Usually they don't leak if you don't. So here's the seal kit, all dumped out. Now, all we're going to do is we'll take these 5 bolts out, rebuild this one, we'll put it back together, take these 4 out, rebuild this one, put it back together, and that should be it. I'm going to go and swivel this around. We have it in a tray so don't mess up our workbench top. And one of these will have a spring in it, one of them won't. I don't really remember anymore. I think this one does not. We'll put those maybe in there. Yeah, this one does not have the spring. And these might have been done already. I really don't know. I mean, we're just not going to find out. So, something to be cautious of, they do have a metal gasket here. And it rarely ever goes bad. And it's stuck to it. We're just going to leave it stuck to it. I don't think we need those in the way anymore. And then we'll pull the Vanos plunger out here. Usually you can stick it in there and tell. And this one's pretty loose. I mean, usually it should fit fairly snug. And you go up here and put this on there. That's pretty loose. Pretty loose, my friends. So, how I do these, and you can do it whichever way you want. Clean off my greasy little hands first. We'll grab a razor knife. We'll go in here. We're just going to cut through. This thing's not very sharp. Cut through that hard ring, just like that, right? This rag's got some pieces of dust in it. I don't particularly like that. Let's get a new rag. I don't like doing that. Let's see here. That one to the old nasty rag pile. Okay, so where are we at here? We pulled the hard ring off. So the hard ring always goes on the outside. The soft ring goes on the inside. So we're going to cut both the hard rings off, the small end and the big end. Use the tip of a razor knife, flick them out of there. We're going to get our pick. We'll get a mildly angled one here. Or we should be able to just go in there and pick that right out. Try not to scratch the aluminum housing any way you go at it. These are pretty hard. Might have to go and cut those also. So somebody could have done the Vanos seals in this, but it wasn't anytime soon. Because they're pretty damn crispy. There we go. That's out of there. We'll do the same thing on this other one. And these are not the Viton. These are only rubber, so they don't last long. We'll get in here. We're just going to cut that also. Watch your eyes. If you guys are using a disposable knife, those little dollar ones, put some goggles on because you'll be digging down in here and that could break and go right in your eye. That actually happened to our UPS driver. And he was lucky enough he didn't go blind, but man, it really set him back for a while. Dig that bad boy out. Whoop. There we go. Put that in the bucket. We'll clean this up a little bit. You can spray some carb cleaner in there. If you got any gunk in there, you need to clean it out. I really don't want to spray it inside the shop here because it's going to choke us out. We'll just do a real quick live rebuild of this Vanos unit. That way you guys know. I'm doing a lot of boring videos lately, I know, guys, but it's very, very precise stuff. And that stuff is not always fun. So we'll put the first ring on. These aftermarket rings, the Viton rings, are brown. We'll put this guy in here first. We're just going to kind of roll it in here like so. A lot of guys will heat these up. I've never broken one, so since we're doing it on camera, we'll probably snap it right in two. We'll put it on here like this. We're just going to chase it around. You usually have to get a little screwdriver at the very end here and chase it in. And it'll go like this. Just like that. Just like that. Nothing to it. So that one's done. That one's done. This one's always a little bit harder because it's smaller. Be careful not to get your rubber gloves caught in there if you're wearing rubber gloves. We're just going to chase that. And they're just like that. And there we go. That side's rebuilt. And a good idea before you reinstall it. There's a couple things here. Put that stuff out of the way. Let's go ahead and take our nasty rag and wipe everything out. And a lot of guys will take a piece of Brillo, which you don't have to, and go around inside there. My findings on that were very mixed at best. We'll take a little bit of oil here. Just a tiny bit. You want to put them in dry. Actually, what am I doing? What am I doing? We got stuff just for that. Take a little bit of our lube ball here. I think that's still in the Amazon store if you guys are interested. It's just a high quality non-petroleum base. I'm not really sure what it is, but it's not supposed to hurt rubber. We'll leave it at that. Put a thin layer of that all the way around there on that one, and then the same fashion. We'll do a little bit of that action. I'll make sure and put that in there nice and straight. That's not straight. I'll give it a quick wiggle and turn. Bizarre. Okay, that's done. Let's go ahead and do the same thing on this back plate. Let's go ahead and clean that up a little bit here. Where the mating surface goes, I'll go ahead and do a little bit of pre-lube work here. Hit that ring one more time. I'll go ahead and line it up with it. Let's see what was the deal with that bad boy. That would go here like that. Just like so. Notice how slow I'm starting with the impact, but look how slow I'm going. It's just crawling. You never want to start it full run. You should start with your fingers, but I've done this my whole entire life, so it's not like I'm any stranger to it. These should be torqued to 7 foot-pounds. We won't torque them because I know what it's supposed to be. That's the 1/4-inch drive ratchet. We're choked up on it. That's it, my friends. That's for the intake side. This one's going to have a spring on it, so we're just going to back them out slowly. See it popped up. We'll take our thumb, hold down on it. There's that. Let's not forget to put it back in. The smaller cone on top goes up towards the plate, just like so. There's our Vanos there. Oil stinks in this car too, man. Nasty. Super hard. a little bit. Alright boys, back in with the new. Little brown ring goes in first. Outer one goes in next. Little brown ring goes in first. Outer one goes in next. Oh, that's off of that. I was like, what the hell? Alright. For the time being, let's set that right there. Clean up this gasket surface on this. And get a bunch of oil down on that one. We'll soak all that up out of there. Just kind of clean all that gravy out of there. Clean off the gasket surface. And never, ever, ever throw an oily rag in your trash can, because that bad boy will catch on fire. No doubt. Okay. So there's that. We'll set that up kind of out of the way for right now. Let's go ahead and lube up this bad boy. Whoa! Make sure my phone's not going off. It is. Let's go and finish this job up before we stop. Alright, so we lube the inside, lube the ring. Push that in there like that. The same thing on the back ring. So this is going to control your timing advance. If you don't know, what this is going to do, this is going to make a rough cold start, poor fuel economy, just general loss of power. I mean, there's other factors in that too, but let me see how this, let's fit up how this goes on before we even take that off. Goes on just like that. So let's go and put this in here like so, and we already forgot. We're doing her backwards. Doing her backwards, boys. Go and push this side in here. We don't want to pinch that. Oh, these rings so difficult to get in. Usually they just go right in like that. And this one's probably going to be a pain in the butt too. Alright, let's get some bolts ready. We got 2 bolts. That'll be enough to hold it once we push it down. Make sure you get those 5 or 6 turns in so it don't take the threads out. tighten these down evenly. We don't want to go any tighter than that because that impact will shear those bolts right off. Alright, boys. Alright, boys. That is it, my friends. Hope you can see all that stuff. Let me flip you up here. There's your Vanos. Your double Vanos is rebuilt. Now, we can't forget our two little rings that go on the plastic caps. Reinstall. But reinstall, now, if you don't move any of this other stuff, you don't have to retime or nothing. Super easy. If, God forbid, if somebody bumps the starter, or you're leaning on it or something, or you move the cones, or whatever, you're gonna have to retime it, and that's a whole nother situation. And then you go and make a few minutes to pull the rest of this guy off and swap that wire right here. Right here is you put a little dotted sealer right there and right there, and that's it. So hope you enjoyed the shaky camera, far away, weird angle, double Vanos M54 M52TU rebuild. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.